as governor. So when we go about setting the priorities for this campaign and for a McDonnell-Bowling administration, we want to be able to think big and bold and aggressive about what we need to do in order to solve our economic problems here in Virginia. And so I'm not going to be just setting small goals for us. I'm going to set something that James Collins calls big, hairy, audacious goals for the Commonwealth of Virginia. And I think we can achieve that. And I've seen the way people working together, not caring about who gets the credit, can work together and have those goals become the policy realities of the Commonwealth. Let me tell you some of the things that I think we need to do. I think we need to do what's made Virginia the most business-friendly state in America so far, and that is to make sure we set a climate where taxes and regulation and litigation are kept in check so free enterprise can grow. We need to have a strong right-to-work law, which has been the cornerstone of our We need to be able to have colleges and universities focus on the core mission of science and technology and engineering and math and medicine and veterinary medicine and nursing to be able to create those jobs where we've got some shortages or have had shortages in the past in Virginia. Let me tell you about some of the specific goals that I think we ought to set for Virginia. First, I think we ought to make Virginia the most business-friendly state in this country for small business and entrepreneurs to grow and thrive and to stay in business. And we can do that by cutting out some of the red tape and bureaucracy that impairs their ability to get in business. We ought to have one-stop permitting for people that want to start to live the American dream and create jobs for other people. And I think we ought to turn those permits around in 48 hours. There's no reason we can't do that to get people into business and have them stay in business. Secondly, I think this ought to be the best place in America for people, for tourism and film production. We've got great natural beauty. We've got mountains and oceans and lakes and rivers. We've got history. We've got big cities and rural vistas. And we ought to be able to bring all that out-of-state money here to be able to create those kind of jobs in Virginia. We used to do a lot more to promote tourism. We filmed that John Adams miniseries here in Virginia. We want to have more of those dollars come into Virginia. Third, I think looking at the future and what some of the big industries are going to be, we ought to have the best commercial spaceport in America in Virginia. And I think we can have it over at Wallops Island, where I'm heading later on, over on the eastern shore, where they just got $1.6 billion new contract from Orbital to launch a new satellite in 2011. And we ought to be able to support and expand that so we can have commercial spaceport traffic all coming as a place of choice to Virginia. Fourth, I think this ought to be the most friendly state in America for retirees and for veterans. We've got 800,000 plus veterans here in Virginia, and I think that it would be really important to keep their talent and their treasure and their money right here in the Commonwealth of Virginia and not going to some other state because of the tax policies aren't as favorable to them. I think this ought to be the most the state of choice for the energy industry to be able to locate in America. And here's why. We've got more natural resources and more natural advantages than any other state in the country. We've got more coal deposits in Southwest Virginia than any other state. In Hampton Roads, we've got the greatest coal exporting port on the planet. We've had a moratorium for some 20 plus years in America on building nuclear power plants, but we're going to build probably the first nuclear power plant now at Lake Anna here. And so we need to be able to start cutting down the bureaucracy and the time for permitting that it takes to build a clean coal-fired plant and a nuclear plant so that we can get this low-cost energy produced right here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And I'm a strong supporter of drilling for oil and gas 50 miles off the coast of the Commonwealth of Virginia could be the first state in the country, now that the federal moratoriums have been lifted, to be able to do that, to drill for oil and gas in 2011. That's when the lease sale of Virginia's rights are scheduled for sale. But unfortunately, our governor has written the Secretary Salazar, and the Congress is moving towards a policy that will take Virginia out of the lead and put us in with every other state way down the road. I think that's wrong for creating economic opportunity and jobs in Virginia. So I've written a letter to Secretary Salazar saying, no, Virginia, we want to be #1 in being able to drill for oil and gas off our coast. Because here's why. An Old Dominion University professors estimated that just gas alone off our coast will generate about 1.2 trillion cubic feet of, God bless you, 2 trillion cubic feet of gas, about 2,600 jobs, $8 billion in capital investment, $250 million in tax revenue, and if we cut a good deal with the federal government, untold millions in royalties. Now, I'd say that's a pretty good deal for the Commonwealth of Virginia. But not only that, we'll have new industry that'll support the offshore drilling industry to come to Virginia and locate in Hampton and Newport News and Chesapeake and Virginia Beach, and those revenues will be able to benefit all of Virginia. So my goal as governor will be to have a comprehensive energy policy. I think we need to put the political ideology aside for the good of America to be able to achieve energy independence because it's a matter of national security. And I do support alternative energy, but right now it's only 1% of the total energy in America. I do think we need to have green jobs, tax-free zones here in America and in Virginia to be able to attract entrepreneurs here, to be able to generate new technologies for wind and solar and biomass and other green technologies. But right now we've got to use the resources that we've got right here in Virginia to be able to make Virginia the #1 place in America for energy development. I also think that it's so important, as I mentioned earlier, protecting that right to work law, that we stand up and oppose this federal card check bill that's been introduced. I think it's important that the workers of Virginia have the right to a secret ballot. It's part and parcel of our great traditions of democracy, and when they have a union organizing election, they ought to have the secret ballot. I also think that it's wrong to have a federal arbitrator come in if you don't have a union management agreement in 120 days and have an arbitrator write a contract for an employer in Virginia that's not reviewable for 2 years. I don't think that's consistent with the spirit of our right to work laws and the spirit of the great free enterprise system that we've enjoyed in Virginia. Every major business group in Virginia said that's bad for jobs, it's bad for economic opportunity, and won't help us to get out of this economic downturn that we're in. So I want you to know I'm going to be the kind of governor that will promote free enterprise and job creation, that'll stand up and oppose card check, and will make sure we do everything we can to keep this the most business-friendly state